Checkout forms are an essential part of any e-commerce business, and your website as a service business is no different. In this video, I'll show you how to create and edit checkout forms in WP Ultimo. We'll also go over adding products to these forms and creating multi-step forms. Okay, so let's get started in our network admin. Again, very important you're in your network admin and not a site. So go to My Sites, Network Admin, and Dashboard just to be sure. And the first thing we're going to do here is set up the payment gateway. So when you make money, when you sell your products, you get paid for it. So go to WP Ultimo and then go to Settings and then click Payments. You've also got some other payment settings here, but what we're going to really pay attention to is when you scroll down and see the payment gateways. So we've got a couple different options here. You have a manual option, so your customers can pay you directly with bank transfers, checks, or something else. And then we have PayPal or Stripe, which is I think what most of you are going to use. Me, I'm using Stripe. And for Stripe, we have two options. We have regular Stripe and we have Stripe Checkout. Now, the regular Stripe is going to allow us to take payments directly through the form using the Stripe API, and then nothing else pops up or confuses the customer. I'm going to do that. You can also use Stripe Checkout, which can be easier to set up, but it is hosted by Stripe, so people are going to have to leave your site to finish the payment. So I'm going to choose Stripe by turning that on as an option right here. And then I'm going to scroll down to these Stripe settings. So for Stripe public name, we're going to keep that as credit card. This is going to be for credit card payments. We've got this sandbox mode option here. This is for testing. So we are going to keep it as testing at first, and then we'll switch it back to live later. And the rest of the stuff we have to do and get within our Stripe account. So log into your Stripe account, another tab, and let's get this set up. First, let's pop it into test mode and then click developers. First thing we're going to do is go to API keys. And these are your testing keys. These are different from your live keys. And you're going to want to keep these secret, especially your secret key. But I like to keep them all secret just in case. So you're going to have to click the reveal test key button to see your secret key. So go ahead and do that. It's probably going to ask you to confirm your password. And now we're going to want to copy these keys and put them into WP Ultimo. So first go ahead and click to copy the publishable key. Pop back to WP Ultimo. Wow, I said that really weird. Paste it under publishable key, pop back to Stripe, copy the secret key, and then paste that under Stripe test secret key. And the next thing we want to do is add on this webhook. So press this little icon right here to copy it. Head back to Stripe, click the webhooks option, click add endpoint, and then go ahead and paste that URL where it says endpoint URL. You can pop in a little description here. And then for events to listen to, you're going to click that and then select all events, add events, and then you are going to click add endpoint all the way down here. Okay, so now we have Stripe ready to test on the form. Before we start editing the forms, I want you to go back to the payment settings page and make sure that you clicked save settings. Now we can go to checkout forms under WP Ultimo. Now this is where all your checkout forms will be. You can click here to add a checkout form, or you can edit an existing checkout form. Now this form that exists here is because when I installed WP Ultimo, I did install the default data, and that included this form. So if you hit edit to that form that was installed automatically, this is what you'll see. So this is all the different fields that are on the form. but this is kind of, it's not as easy to see how it's going to be and look and feel. So if you click this preview button right here, it will generate a preview of the checkout form. So it's going to look something like this for your customers. And if you scroll to the top, you'll see there's an option to view it as an existing user or to see it as a visitor. And the difference for visitors is they are prompted to create an account. They need to make an email and a username to create an account. So let's click this icon right here to go back to the editor. And I'm going to keep things mostly as they are. But there is one thing that we have to do, which is we have to make sure that the plans that we created are added onto this checkout form. If you haven't created any plans yet, you haven't created any products, I did record a video for that and I will link it below. So do that first and then go ahead and hit this edit link under plans. And then click this field during products and your plans should automatically pop up. If they don't, just go ahead and start typing one and it will show up. So choose whichever plans you want your customer to be able to choose from. And remember, these products will show up in the order that you add them. You do have some other options here, but I'm just kind of going to leave that as it is and then hit Save Field. But I do want to show you that there are some other settings that you can use for all of the different fields. So you're going to be able to change the field label. You're going to have some additional settings where you can add a placeholder or a tooltip to explain what the field is. And then you can change the visibility here as well. And then on the style tab, you're going to be able to change the width of the wrapper for the field, and you can add additional CSS classes for the wrapper and the field, so you can style them specifically if you wanted to via CSS. So I'm going to close out of this. And for me, everything else looks good here. I do want to note that you can add a new checkout step if you wanted to, if you needed to collect a lot of information. This is step 1. You could add a whole new step, and we can just call this step 2. And then the title can also be step 2. And then put just a random description, add step. And then from here, you can go ahead and add random fields into this section or step. And then here are all the different field options you have that you can add. I'm just going to go ahead and choose something random, save field, and then I'm just going to preview this for you so you can see what it looks like when you do add another step. I don't need that, so I'm going to pop back to the editor and then delete that step and then hit confirm. And I do want to show you that you can move them around. You just have to hover over these 3 lines to the right and then you can move them and change the order of them. There are some advanced options down here. You might be interested in changing the thank you information. I'm going to leave all that as is. And I'm scrolling back up. The checkout form slug is fine for me. Note that if you change this and you're using a short code, you have to change your short code also. I do want it active. Don't want to delete it. So I'm just going to go ahead and click Save Checkout Form. So if you had it set for WP Ultimo to install that default data, it made a page for you and it automatically put this form on it. If it didn't, you can add this form to any page using a shortcode. So you just click that Generate Shortcode button up here, and then here it is right here, the result. You could click Copy Shortcode and the shortcode will be copied, and then you just place it anywhere you want it to go. But since it made that registration page for me, I'm just going to go to it on my main site. So my main site is right here. If I hover over my sites, my main site is Expanse Websites. And I'm going to go to the dashboard. And then I'm going to go to the pages. And I'm going to scroll down to register and then hit view. So this is our checkout form, which looks fine. I'm probably going to style it more later. But for now, this is good. What we have to do is we have to test it and make sure it works. So copy the URL, and what I want you to do is I want you to open this URL in a secret browsing window. Okay, so I'm having you test on an incognito or private browser window. So you're seeing the form as a new customer is going to see the form without having to worry about if you're signed on to WordPress anywhere or if there's anything that your browser's holding on to. So let's go ahead and fill this out. Use a different email that you actually have access to but isn't the same email address that is used for your network admin because you're creating another account for this pretend person. And then go ahead and give yourself a fake username and give yourself a password, but it has to be it can't be weak or it won't let it go through. So just, you know, pick whatever. Oh, shoot, I didn't remember it. Okay, it has to be something you remember because we do have a confirm password field as well. And next, just pick a random site title and then pick a site URL for your pretend website. And oh, you have to make sure to choose that. I might adjust this form so the product real estate website is down lower so it's easy to show that it needs to be chosen. Maybe I'll put a little note there. So we'll make those changes after the test. Okay, so now that the product has been chosen, we see a total here. There is a free trial, so it says the total at the end of the trial period. I do have it, so they do need to put in their credit card even if they're on a trial. There is a testing credit card number for Stripe. And for Visa, that is a bunch of 42s. And then for an expiration date, you can put something in the future. And then for CVC, just put a random 3 numbers. There are other testing credit cards for different, like there's a MasterCard and an Amex and stuff. Just Google Stripe testing credit cards if you want to try something else that's not Visa. And then go ahead and pick a country. I'm going to pick my country and a zip code. I'm going to put my zip code. And then go ahead and click checkout. And then we got this screen with our thank you message that we had set. So that's looking all good so far. And it does say it's going to take up to 5 minutes and it's going to notify via email when the site is ready. So first thing I want us to do is I want us to go back to Stripe and to see if this charge went through. We do have a free trial, but something should have happened here. So let's go ahead and sign back into our Stripe accounts. Make sure you are in test mode and then go over to customers. And I'm seeing right here up top that test account. So if I click that, I'm going to see that it does have the real estate website subscription and it is set to bill monthly, next invoice on July 11th, and it's set as a free trial. So all that looks great. Next, let's head on over to our network admin, and we're going to see here that there's a sign up. If we refresh the dashboard, you'll see that. And if you go to WP Ultimo and you look at your dashboard, you should see a sign up there. And if you peek at your products page, you should see a sign up there. And let's see if we go to memberships. Yep, that worked. And customers, that worked also. So since this was just a test, what I want to do now is clean up all this test data, delete this user, and then switch Stripe to the live version. And I want to make some changes to that form. So first, let's get rid of these customers, or this one fake customer, delete that one, confirm that I want to delete them. That way membership should be gone now too. Nope, this is still here. It just says no customer, so delete that. And then let's take a peek at the dashboard, make sure it's empty now. And just to triple check, I'm going to peek at my users. That user is still there, so I am going to delete it there as well. And then click confirm deletion. All right, so we have the test data cleared up. Now let's go ahead and make some of those changes to the form I said I wanted to do. So WP Ultimo checkout forms, edit that registration form. So after testing the form, I realized there's some things I want to change here. I want the plan selection to be under things. Maybe it should be, it can be above the order summary, but I want it under all the rest of this. And I would really like it if my customer plan their site title and pick their site URL before they put in their login information. Also, remember how I said I didn't love it that the plan wasn't auto-selected? Well, if I edit this plan selection field, I can see that this says hide when pre-selected, prevent customers from seeing this field when a plan was already selected via the URL. So instead of sharing the registration page, I will be sharing the link to the exact product, which will make sure it is pre-selected. And because of that, I am going to toggle this to on, so that way I don't have to worry about the customer having to do an extra thing and possibly getting confused. So then I'm going to click Save Field here, and then I am going to save my checkout form. And you know what? Now that I'm thinking about it and I went through the test, I really like the idea of doing this a multi-step form to make it really, really easy for the customers to fill it out. So I'm going to click here, add a new checkout step. And for the first step, I'm going to call it website information. And for the step ID, I'm going to put website info and then click add step. And then for the next section, I'm going to click add a new checkout step again. And this one is going to be called, well, let's make the title create an account. And for the ID, I'll just put user info and add step. And then we'll do one more checkout step that's going to be for payment. And then we'll make the step ID payment as well. And then click add step. And let's see, can we just drag these into the new steps? Let's see. Looks like, unfortunately, we cannot do that. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to, well, that kind of sucks. But what I'm going to do here is I'm going to re-add all of the fields where I want them to go by doing add field and then clicking each one, like this one is site URL. And then just kind of do it the same as it is on the other form and then hit save field. I'm not going to make you guys go through all this with me. So by the magic of video, ta-da, all done. So I do want to note that it did make me do a submit button for each of the steps to make this a multi-step form. But now we do have a multi-step form set up. And then we can get rid of this first step they made, the checkout step. Confirm that. Click it and confirm it. And now I have it. So we have website information that they fill in first, then their account information, and then their payment information. So I'm going to click save right here. And then let's go ahead and take a peek at that form in the incognito or secret browser window again. Now, like I said, I'm just going to link to the direct product so they don't have to choose. So from now on, I'm going to go to the actual product and then click to copy the shareable link. And then that's the URL I'm going to open up on the incognito browsing window. Now I'm just going to kind of quickly, not really, work my way through this multi-step form just to make sure it's doing what I want it to do. So we'll do a test. Oh, this has to be an email address, test@test.com. And then I'm going to do a random password because I'm not even creating an account here. And then I'm hitting next. And this is already chosen. That's good. The credit card's here. I did add the full address here. I think it's okay for this last page, especially since we're doing multi-step. So it's not too stressful for the customer to see all these fields when they've already gotten this far. So now that that's done, and I love how this form looks, we did a test, we know it works, it's time to connect the live version of Stripe. So here's what we're going to do. First of all, let's get back to our network admin in WordPress. So here we are, and then under WP Ultimo, go to settings, and then go to payments, and scroll all the way down to your Stripe settings. All right, so first thing we need to do is shut off sandbox mode, and now we need the live keys from Stripe. So head over to Stripe, and then go ahead and turn off test mode. And you should be seeing your live data now. So click the developers link. Head on over to API keys. Reveal your secret live key. Again, don't show these to other people. Stripe is very, very important that you don't show anyone your live keys. Copy your publishable key. Head back to your payment settings. Paste it under publishable key. Back to Stripe. Copy your secret key. And then paste it under live secret key. And then we are going to have to, I'm pretty sure we're going to have to add the webhook again. So let's go back to Stripe and go to webhooks. And yes, we do. So we're going to have to do that again. Click add endpoint. This is the same thing we did earlier in the video. Paste the endpoint URL. For select events, choose select all events. Hit add events. And then scroll all the way down and hit add endpoint. Head back to your payment settings and then click save settings. And that's it. You're all done. We've got your checkout forms set up with WP Ultimo, and you are ready to take payments and get new customers. Congratulations. If I was helpful to you, please don't forget to like and subscribe. I will be sharing more WP Ultimo content in the future. If you're making your own website, check out the description. I've got a 9-step website roadmap freebie for you that will help guide you on your way. Thank you so much for watching.